This is lesson 20, part 2, and it's time to practice. In everyday life, we measure duration in seconds, minutes, and hours. And in music, we measure time or duration in beats and subdivisions of those beats. The proportion between seconds, minutes, and hours is fixed. So if an hour has gone by, we can know that 60 minutes have gone by and that 3,600 seconds have gone by. We can choose to track time in seconds, minutes, or hours, depending on which is most helpful or appropriate given the circumstance. The proportion between beats and subdivisions of those beats is similarly fixed. So if one beat has gone by, we can know that 2 half beats have gone by, or that 4 quarter beats have gone by. We can choose to track time or duration in music by beats or subdivisions of those beats, depending on which is most helpful or appropriate given the circumstance. Beat is a recurring pulse in music. Similar to a second hand on a clock, it is predictable and it is independent of anything else going on around. Subdivided beats are also recurring and predictable. So once we get a stream of, say, half beat notes going, so do day, do day, do day, do day, do day, do day, it's not that hard to maintain it. Similarly, once we get a stream of quarter beat notes going, so do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data, it's not that tough to keep it going. One way of practicing a subdivided beat is just to turn our metronome on at 60. We're going to clap the beat or the pulse notes. So we're just going to clap exactly with the metronome. Ready, clap. And we're now going to say a steady stream of quarter beat notes. 1, 2, ready, go. Do-ta data, 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 do-ta data. Do it again. Ready, go. Do-ta data, 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 do-ta data. And to continue learning how to internalize that subdivided pulse and keep it going, we're going to say one set of do-ta datas over top of our clapped pulse, and then we're going to internally say the next set, or you can mouth or whisper it. I'll alternate between them so you can see what that might look like. Ready, clap. 1, 2, ready, speak. Do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data. So whichever is easier for you, just thinking it internally, whispering it, or lightly saying it. You might find, depending on the circumstance, it varies as to which is most helpful. It's good just to know those are tools we can use, keeping that subdivided pulse going, to know where to place trickier rhythms. Let's do that one more time. Set the metronome at 60. Ready, clap. Ready, speak. Do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data, do-ta data.
Remember that we write music on a staff. The staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces that we count from the bottom to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines and 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Or G clef, this is used for the right hand of the piano, female voices, and higher instruments. And we would start on line 2, bump up to line 3, down to line 1, up and around, back down again. It's called a G clef because all of this curly Q action here around line 2 helps us remember that line 2 is an important spot. And if we were to put a note there, it would be a G. And from there, we're going to learn soon how to figure out all the other pitches or letter names on the staff and above and below it. We also learned about the bass or F clef. This is used for the left hand of the piano, men's voices, and lower instruments. And we started on line 4, bump up to line 5, draw basically half a heart, stopping just under line 2. a dot in space 4, a dot in space 3. These dots help us know that line 4 is a really important spot. If we were to draw a note head there, it would be an F. And from there, we're going to learn how to be able to decode all the other pitches on that staff and above and below it. Returning to Rhythm Workshop by Sally K. Albrecht. We'll begin with exercise 41 in the 2-4 section of the book. Beginning with exercise 6, the first thing we're going to do is just look at the time signature. So remember that the top number tells us how many beats there are in a measure. So in this case, 2 beats per measure. The bottom number tells us what kind of note value gets a beat. So we could think of it as the denominator of a fraction. And in this case, tells us that a quarter note is going to be our beat or pulse note. Looking down here at our note and rest value pyramid, we can know that quarter notes will now be given 1 beat, eighth notes will be half a beat each, half notes will be 2 beats, and whole notes and whole rests will be 4 beats. So in looking at our example, we can see we have quarter notes, quarter rests, and then we have a weird looking thing over here that looks a whole lot like a whole rest. But we know we only have 2 beats per measure and that a half note's already worth 2 beats. So how can we have a whole rest, which is supposed to be worth 4 beats, in this measure? Well, there's a weird little thing that sometimes in music, when we have an entire bar of just rest, sometimes composers will actually use a whole rest, or sometimes what looks like with a regular 5-line staff, what can look like just a giant cube to denote one entire measure of rest. So in this case, we can know it's impossible for that to be more than 2 beats of rest because there are only 2 beats per measure. So that's actually what that is. It's a 2-beat rest. Every time you see that, just make sure you're keeping track of 2 full beats. Let's set the metronome at 80 and either clap the beat or tap your foot or march to the beat. 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, ready, speak. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do. Do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Moving on to exercise 43 in the 2-4 section of the book. We are still in 2-4 time, of course, so I've just copied in the bottom of the note and rest value pyramid. The quarter note will be our beat or pulse note, so we'll be saying do for it. The eighth notes and eighth rests are our half beat notes and rests, so we're going to be saying do day for those. We're going to start by just looking at example 2 and marking in our do's or our beats, our big beats, our non-subdivided beats. So a quarter note gets 1 beat, so there's our first do. Another quarter note, 1 beat. A pair of eighth notes is going to be worth 1 beat. Another pair of eighth notes is 1 beat. Here's our next do, another do, day, do. The eighth note with the eighth rest together equal 1 beat, so that's accounted for. Here's our next do. A pair of eighth notes equal 1 beat. Another pair of eighth notes equal 1 beat. Do. Here, our do is going to fall right on that eighth rest, so it's going to be silent. The eighth rest plus the eighth note is going to equal 1 full beat. So our next do will be spoken here. A pair of eighth notes is equivalent to 1 beat. Another beat for a pair of eighth notes and another beat for the quarter note. Next, I'm going to just look and see that my smallest note value is an eighth note. So I'm going to be wanting to keep a subdivided eighth note pulse, a steady stream of do day, do day, do day, do day, so I can accurately know where to place notes, especially in the trickiest measures. So speaking of tricky measures, I'm looking right here, and I'm just going to go through and mark in my do days. So I'm just drawing in those eighth note pulses that will make up that full measure. And I'm even going to write in my syllables, do day, do day. And I'm going to cross out the ones that I'm just going to internally say or mouth or whisper. It's really just that one. All the others I will speak out loud. Now I'm just going to try saying those syllables accurately without worrying too much about a totally stable pulse, certainly no metronome yet, just so I can coordinate my mouth. Do day, do day. Then I might try keeping a slow beat without the metronome in my hands, and do the same thing. Ready, go, day, do day. Again, go, day, do day. Use this tool if and as it's helpful for you. Next, I'm going to set the metronome pulse at a nice slow pulse of 60, and I'm just going to clap that steady beat, that steady do beat. This is our big unsubdivided beat that we always want to be clapping or tapping our foot to. Ready, clap. Now I'm going to practice saying a steady stream of do days just to prime the pump. Ready, speak, do day, 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 do day. Now I'm going to try speaking the rhythm accurately, keeping a subdivided pulse going inside myself so I can accurately place notes, whispering or mouthing those unspoken syllables if it's helpful to you. Ready, speak, do, do day, 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 do. Moving on to example 44 in the 2-4 section of the book. This entire example is comprised only of eighth notes and eighth rests. So I'm going to quickly go through and mark all the do beats. I'm just going to show you the finished product, and you can pause the screen and make sure it all makes sense to you. Now, in any tricky looking measure, I'm going to draw in the eighth notes. Now I'm going to draw the do days in those tricky measures. Now I'm going to cross out any syllables that will be internally spoken or mouthed or whispered, and underline the syllables that I'm going to need to verbalize. And actually all three measures are exactly the same, so the next thing I'll do is just practice saying those without worrying too much about a steady big beat. Day, do day. Now I will clap the beat and try to do the same thing. Ready, go, day, do day. Once I feel confident that I've done enough repetitions over enough days, if needed, to feel very comfortable and secure in that and to have a feeling of ease while I'm performing that, I'm going to set the metronome at a slow 60 beats per minute. And I'm going to clap that beat or put it in my feet. Ready, clap. And I'm going to try and keep a steady subdivided pulse of do day going inside myself. This is a great one to actually try the idea of the whispered syllable in the rest, since it's all eighth notes and eighth rests. And ready, speak. Do day, do day, do day, do day. Day, do day. Day, do day, do day, do day, do day, do day. Day, do day, do day, do.